Good evening. Should like to call this special meeting of the Fairfield City Council to order, please. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Moy? Yes. Councilmember Tim?
Here.
Councilmember Vaccaro? Here. Vice Mayor Bertani?
Here.
And Mayor Price.
Here. And the invocation this evening will be led by retired Lieutenant Colonel John Takeuchi. He is our always reliable pastor, ready to lead us in an invocation, please. John, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It's always a privilege to do this. I remember hearing a long time ago that the best sermon has a good opening and a good ending and very little in between. And I think that applies to everything. So I'll try my best. Okay. God, thank you so much for the city of Fairfield and for this city council and staff. Amen.
And Madam Clerk, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag, please? Council report. So we'll begin with the Vice Mayor, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out to the meeting. Thank you for joining us here in the chamber as well. I just wanted to reiterate my congratulations to Pastor David Isom and his wife Stephanie. They have just celebrated their 12th year at St. Stephen's CME here in Fairfield, and I was really blessed to be able to attend that service, which was awesome. We had a great time. St. Stephen does a lot of work in this community right now. They're just finishing up their math institute for the summer. And so I said a few words to Pastor at the event for Pastor Isom, but I just want to say again, Pastor Stephanie, thank you. St. Stephen CME family, thank you for all of the work that you do here in the community. We appreciate you. And I want to remind you that on Saturday, August the 3rd, from 11 to 1, we're going to be having a town hall meeting here in City Council chambers, and the focus of our discussions will be safety, public safety, safety in our neighborhoods, safety in our schools, safety. We're going to have some folks from police and fire here and some staff as well. Hopefully my colleagues will join, and we just want to hear your concerns and share some of the information that we think it's important for you to have as a community around public safety issues. So Saturday, the 3rd of August, 11 to 1, here in City Council chamber. Mr. Mayor, that's my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman White, please.
Mr. Mayor, since this is a special meeting, I'm going to be especially quiet, so I don't have any report.
Well, you are so very special. Thank you. Councilman Tim, please.
Mayor, thank you. Just real quickly, I want to remind everybody of a National Night Out, August 6th, Tuesday night. And I encourage you to meet your neighbors, step out, meet new friends, meet old friends, but get out, and it sends a message. Two things. One, it sends a message and lets everybody know that you're involved, and two, that you care. And three, staff will be there, police, fire, and it's just a good way to meet people that work for the city. So I encourage it, and I look forward to seeing you. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Vaccaro, please.
Councilman Tim just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to actually say the same thing. I hope to see a lot of people out on National Night Out. I think our city manager said about 50 events, which I think is maybe a record. And I also wanted to thank Vice Mayor Bertani for organizing the town hall meeting on the 3rd. I'll definitely be there. I think it's going to be a really great event, and we'll be able to hear what people have to say and what we have to say. So good. That's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
And I'll try to be brief too. You may recall that I talked about the Travis Armed Forces Committee and the Travis Community Consortium and the concerns that military personnel, spouses in particular, who are assigned to installations such as Travis Air Force Base, if they have career fields, the licensing requirements in California oftentimes are too onerous. So I was very pleased this morning to go with the city manager and our Human Resources Director to a workshop at Travis, and the message is getting out that we need to do something. And then all of us, I think, are aware of the Greatest Generation. And I was privileged this week to attend a funeral service for Theodore Devereaux, who was a World War II guy, and he passed away, and his service was over at Mount Calvary Baptist Church. It was a very impressive service. He was quite an impressive man, and I was humbled to be there and to participate in that. But I also want to tell you a little bit about him. He and his wife, years of military service, chose to come to Fairfield to make that their permanent home. And I had some of their children as students at Bandon High School. Well, Ted Devereaux was one of 14 children, and he and his wife had 13 children. 4 of his brothers are now pastors, and one of the pastors from Texas did the eulogy, and there was one really significant line in that eulogy, and he said to the congregation and all the folks who were there, all of us know what 911 means, but I have a better solution for you, and it's 111. The Father, the Son. Okay, you got it. Thank you very much. Mr. City Manager, your report, please.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. I was going to talk about National Night Out also. It's, as Councilmember Tim said, as you put your hats on, it's August 6th. It's National Night Out is a great event. We have approximately 50 neighborhoods that have signed up for it. If you're new to the community, it's a great way to meet your neighbors. And if you've lived here a long time, it's still a great event to come out. So with 50 neighborhoods celebrating, including a neighborhood on Travis Air Force Base, it's a great way to celebrate a Tuesday night. So I encourage everybody to go there, and you'll be able to meet members of the police department, fire department, council members, and staff as we go to different neighborhoods. So I encourage everybody to participate. And everybody looks nice in their hats and glasses.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Madam Clerk, do you have a report, please?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report.
Okay, we then go then immediately to a process for public comments, if you would, please, Madam.
Speakers may address items on this agenda at the time each item is considered. Under public comments, the public may speak on items not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the City Council, provided that no action may be taken on off-agenda items except as authorized by law. Off-agenda items from the public will be taken under consideration without discussion by the council and may be referred to staff. Speakers are requested to limit their comments to 4 minutes, with 1 minute to summarize their remarks.
Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
Item 1, continued public hearing and resolution 2019-107 of the City Council of the City of Fairfield, approving the engineer's report as modified, confirming the diagram and assessment for the 2019-20 fiscal year, and ordering the improvements for Maintenance District Number 7, Rolling Hills. And our presenter is Tom Martian with Public Works.
Okay. Tom, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council and colleagues. I want to first thank you all for being here tonight in a special session. I know it takes a lot of your time, as well as my colleagues, so thank you so much. For tonight, we're actually introducing the last portion of the public hearings that has to be conducted for the LMD number 7. This district is ongoing for funding the maintenance of the landscaping and also the electrical and architectural amenities in the district. I am fortunate, glad to say that we're pulling the district values down to the range, which was 314 and 300, but there is a little slight increase in that range to be able to on-go the fund of the maintenance because of cost of labor, water, and also the issue that had developed with our maintenance costs. So with that, tonight in front of you is the last steps of adopting the engineer's report and setting the assessments, and this will conduct a public hearing to approve those resolutions. So that conducts my comment.
Thank you, Tom. And Mr. City Attorney, please.
Yes, Mayor and council members, I'd like to address the number of objections that were made by Mr. David Thacker to, particularly to this district, number 7, but also his objections also apply to other districts that we have referred to as being grandfathered. And just to explain this, in 1996, Proposition 218 was adopted, as you know. And with respect to assessment districts, it imposed some significant new requirements on assessment districts going forward. and that included a voter approval requirement within the district where there could be a majority protest that would then prevent the district from proceeding. And there also were additional procedural requirements, including the need for a much more detailed engineer's report that distinguishes between special benefits and general benefits. However, the constitutional amendments made at that time by Prop 218 had an exemption from these new requirements for what we call grandfathered districts. And that's in Section 5A of 13D of the Constitution. And that section does identify certain types of improvements, either the construction of or the maintenance of, are exempt from the Proposition 218 requirements, as long as they're based on an existing rate structure that was approved prior to Prop 218. And the part that's relevant here is it does pertain to streets and sidewalks. And the point has been made, well, landscaping is not a street or a sidewalk. Well, in 1999, there was an appellate court decision involving the city of Riverside where the court acknowledged, in the case of lighting streetlights that were done pursuant to the 1972 Landscaping and Lighting Act, that although lighting wasn't included specifically within the language in the Constitution, nonetheless, it was exempted because lighting is an integral part of city streets and provides for safety of the streets and are part of the streets and sidewalks. And the same thing is true, although the court didn't talk about landscaping, it really is the same thing is true of the landscaping that we're talking about here, because it's limited to landscaping within the medians or in the parkways, which are an integral part of the streets and sidewalks in the communities within which we're imposing the assessment. So for that reason, we believe these are grandfathered. Each of these, number 7 and the others on the agenda tonight, were all adopted and established prior to the adoption of Proposition 218. And more importantly, or as importantly, they had assessment ranges were approved by the City Council also prior to Prop 218. So as an example of number 7, the assessment range that was approved in the 1990s was in the range of $200 to $300, and that range was grandfathered in. It was an actual existing rate structure that existed and approved by the council prior to Prop 218, and we have to stay within that. And that is a challenge because that does have an effect upon how much maintenance can be done, just because there's only so many dollars generated as the cost of landscaping and maintenance goes up. That was one reason why tonight, the earlier engineer's report had referred to an assessment of $314 for this district. That has been corrected to be $300, and your resolution tonight that you would be adopting does say that the engineer's report is modified to fall within the range. So those are well, actually add one more point. The objection also was made that the engineer's report referred to open space maintenance. And I agree that would be a problem if we were spending the assessment district monies on a grandfathered district for general open space maintenance. We can't do that. But it turned out in reviewing this with staff, what's actually happening with that part of the budget, it's a small part of the budget, but nonetheless, that part of the budget is actually used for weed abatement within the drainage courses within Rolling Hills. And the Constitution expressly grandfathers drainage maintenance or improvements, and that's what these are. So staff will make very certain that any of these monies used for the weed abatement will be limited to the drainage courses and not for general open space purposes. So I think those are really the main issues I wanted to address, and happy to answer any other questions that the council may have.
Again, Mr. City Attorney, would you explain what grandfathered means?
And again,
Some of our constituents are concerned about what that really means.
Sure, and what grandfathered means is you have to have both the district itself and the rates in that district had it been adopted prior to Prop 218. And if they're limited to certain ones, as I mentioned, like streets and sidewalks as an example, and we believe lighting and landscaping, that as long as it's for those purposes, you're going to be grandfathered, and drainage, by the way. If you were established, if we had a district that was adopted by the City Council prior to Prop 218 and the rate being charged within the rates approved by the Council prior to Prop 218, if it falls within that category it is exempt from the voter approval requirements of Prop 218. Now, what will happen is, if the council at some point, and we find we have to go above that range because we need more money for those districts, that's going to either have to go through a new assessment district proceeding where the voters get a chance to vote on it, or we do a community facilities district CFD, and likewise, that requires 2/3 voter approval to do that. So that may happen down the road. I mean, as we go forward and the costs get more expensive, and we're going to be evaluating that this next year. And if there is a need to increase the budget beyond the ranges, we are going to have to consider either a CFD or an amended assessment district. But for that to happen, the voters are protected. They would have a chance to vote on anything that goes beyond the grandfathered range of assessments.
Thank you. Comments or questions for either Tom or for the city attorney? Seeing none, I will open the public hearing. Have no request to speak cards. Anyone choosing to speak on this item should do so now. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back for council action. Entertain a motion to approve. It's been moved by Councilman Moy, seconded by Councilmember Tim. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. And I must excuse myself now from the next item, so the vice mayor will come in and preside.
Yes, I
over
should
that.
just note for the record that the vice mayor and the city manager abstained the last time around because they live in that district, and likewise the mayor will be abstaining now on this one, so, thank you. No, Councilmember Moy, you will be on number 12, so you'll be on the next one. Yeah, which, actually, item 3 on the agenda.
Madam Clerk, item number 2, please.
Item 2, continued public hearing and resolution 2019-108 of the City Council of the City of Fairfield, approving the 2019-2020 Engineers Report, confirming the boundaries and ordering the levy and collection of assessments, and providing for notice of hearing thereof for Maintenance District Number 8, Kolob Estates, and again presented by Tom Martian from Public Works.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and members of the City Council. There again, I shared earlier, thank you both for being here, my colleagues, for the special session tonight. In front of you tonight is the LMD number 8, Kolob, was established for funding maintenance and electrical and architectural amenities that goes into that, as well as any ongoing expenses like water costs. So in front of you tonight is adoption of the resolution approving the engineer's report setting the assessment. I am glad to say there is no changes in the assessments for this next year, and it will remain at the same levels as in the previous years. By conducting the public hearing, we'll determine the adoption of the resolutions, and that would conclude my presentation.
Thank you very much for the report. Any questions from the City Council? Okay, seeing none, I'll open it up for public comment. I don't have any requests to speak cards. If anyone requests to speak, they should do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing and bring it back for council action. Moved by Councilman Tim, seconded by Councilman Vaccaro. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, unanimous.
And the next one, Councilmember Moy will have to abstain as she lives in the district.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. We turn then to item number 3. Madam Clerk, please.
Continued public hearing and resolution 2019-109 of the City Council of the City of Fairfield, approving the engineer's report, confirming the diagram and assessment for the 2019-20 fiscal year, and ordering the improvements for Maintenance District Number 12, Downtown Business District, again presented by Tom Martian from Public Works.
Good evening again, Mayor and members of City Council. Tom Martian, Department of Public Works. The LMD number 12 was established for funding maintenance, again, and electrical and some of the architectural amenities for the downtown, as we know of, between Texas Street and from Empire, or actually Pennsylvania, to Jefferson Street. The district is set up to do many parts in regards to not only the landscaping, but also the cleaning of the sidewalks, and also get preparation for many of the events we have downtown. Just so I want to share with you this district, because we've been spending a lot more effort to try to enhance. If you notice, we've actually use district funds to paint the light poles down there, the signal poles. We also put the banners down there. We actually redid the trellises, and now we're working on putting some lights and some trees. So we're really kind of glad to see this downtown district really expanding and growing, and we appreciate all the hard work of staff as well as support of you, City Council. So in front of you tonight is really the last step of adoption of the engineer's report in the assessment ranges. By conducting a public hearing, we'll actually determine the adoption of those resolutions, allowing us to continue on doing a great job funding downtown and continue to looking forward to what we could do for the businesses as well as to the community. Concludes my presentation.
Questions for Tom? Okay, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone choosing to speak on this item should do so now. Don't have any requests to speak cards. We'll close the public hearing, bring it back for council action. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2019-109. It's been moved by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Councilman Vaccaro. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. And we turn now to, clerk, please.
Item 4, continued public hearing and resolution 2019-181, bless you, of the City Council of the City of Fairfield declaring results of a special annexation election, determining validity of prior proceedings, and directing recording of amended notice of special tax lien, City of Fairfield Community Facilities District 2012-2, Public Safety Services, Open Space Operation, and Park Maintenance, Annexation Number 41, Enclave at Red Top Road.
There again, good evening, Mayor and members of City Council, Tom Martian, Department of Public Works. And tonight, in front of you is the last process of annexation of the development known as Enclave at Red Top. The project is actually consisting of about 85 acres, 65 lots, and it has a commercial component to it, which is going to be alongside the freeway. By conducting this process, it's going to go into the CFD 2012-2, which does ongoing funding for public safety, parks, and open spaces. By conducting the public hearing, completes that last process and the development's requirements. With the adoption, we'll actually participate into the annexation and allow us to start collecting assessments this next fiscal year. Concludes my presentation.
Any comments or questions for Tom? Okay, I will open the public hearing. Don't have any requests to speak cards. Anyone choosing to speak on this item should do so now. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back for council action. Motion to
At this
approve.
point, we'll have a council vote, so the ballots will be tabulated and counted here.
We have a ballot and 1 yes vote in favor of annexation.
Very good. So we have a adopted annexation here. So the motion now would be to adopt Resolution 2019-181.
Been moved by Councilman Tim, seconded by Councilman Moy. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. We turn then to item number 5, our final item. Madam Clerk.
Item number 5, continued public hearing and resolution 2019-183 of the City Council of the City of Fairfield declaring the results of a property owner protest ballot proceeding for the City of Fairfield Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District Number 16, Creekside and Cordelia, Annexation Number 1, Enclave at Red Top, and the levy and collection of annual assessments related thereto commencing fiscal year 2019 and 2020, and resolution 2019-184 of the City Council of the City of Fairfield ordering the annexation of territory, Enclave at Red Top Subdivision, to the City of Fairfield Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District Number 16, Creekside and Cordelia, designated it as Annexation Number 1, and to levy and collect annual assessments related thereto commencing fiscal year 2019-2020. Tom Martian from Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor, members of Council. Tom Martian, Department of Public Works. In front of you is the last process of annexation known as Enclave. It's going to be annexed into the territory called LMD number 16, which is a Creekside Cordelia development. The funds will be ongoing to be for maintenance and also electrical costs and any other amenities that deals with the engineer's report. Tonight is a development requirement to be able to participate into this annexation, so I appreciate Chris with Discoveries here, making sure it's going to go well. Chris is, this is really critical because it is the last component of actually participate to get their COs on their buildings and their development. Proud to say, again, it's an 85-acre parcel, and it's actually got some commercial development along the freeway, and so it's a combination of a well-used piece of property. So I appreciate staff's time, especially with their economic development team, to be able to bring this type of development into Fairfield and see the growth. So by conducting the public hearing tonight, we'll adopt their final resolutions to determine the annexation process. So opening a public hearing will conclude, and then hopefully the balance will go in the right direction. So thank you again for this presentation.
Thank you, Thomas. Any comments or questions for Thomas? Okay, I will open the public hearing. Don't have any requests to speak cards. Anyone choosing to speak in this item should do so now. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back for council action. Entertain a motion to approve, please. Been moved by
We'll need to have the vote first.
Same thing.
Sorry, we have a yes vote in favor of assessment.
All right, at this point then, we can actually do both resolutions together. It'd be a motion to approve Resolution 2019-183 and 184.
Been moved by Councilman Moy, seconded by Councilman Vaccaro. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Well, thank you very much. We are adjourned until our next meeting on August 20th at 6 p.m. And don't forget National Night Out. Have a good time. Good, and be safe. Good night.